The unspoken secret: more power, less petrol from your gas cap? Alright, settle down, you spend thousands on your car, shiny paint, big wheels, maybe a spoiler. You want more power and better fuel economy. Who doesn't? Especially with petrol prices these days. What if I told you a secret that costs pennies? It involves your gas cap. Yes, really. Sometimes the biggest improvements come from the smallest things. This isn't about bolting on a massive turbo, it's simpler. Much simpler. Your car is a complex machine. Engineers chase tiny percentages in efficiency. Yet one of the most crucial seals is often neglected. The humble gas cap. Ignored, unloved, but it holds a key. A key to more response, more miles per gallon. Sounds good, doesn't it? Forget expensive gadgets. This is real, tangible. It's something you can do this afternoon. You don't need a degree in engineering, just a bit of knowledge, the right knowledge. And that, my friends, is what I'm here to provide. Prepare to be mildly astonished, or at least slightly less poor at the pumps. So let's dive into the details. You might just be surprised. Ready? Let's go. Right, what's this witchcraft then? Unveiling the gas cap gambit. So, what is this magical gas cap trick? It's not an incantation. The core of the issue is the seal, that little rubber ring on your gas cap. It's meant to create an airtight seal. It keeps petrol fumes in and air out, but often it doesn't. Over time, that rubber seal gets tired, dirty, and cracked. Even a tiny imperfection in that seal matters. A microscopic gap can lead to a loss of pressure in your fuel system. And that's where the problems begin. Mechanics might sell you a new cap. Sometimes the cap itself is fine. It's just not sealing properly, because it's dirty, or not quite seated right. This isn't about a cap that's fallen off. This is about the insidious imperfect seal. The trick isn't buying a new cap. It's about ensuring the cap you have works perfectly, making that seal as good as the day it left the factory, with a bit of cunning. It's about attention to detail, something modern life seems to have forgotten. But your car hasn't. It notices. And it will reward you, or punish your neglect. So, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Time to make that cap work for you. The science bit, made simple unlike rocket surgery. Why a perfect seal matters. Your car has something called an EVAP system, Evaporative Emission Control System. It stops petrol fumes escaping. Good for the planet and your wallet. It traps fuel vapors from the tank, and feeds them back into the engine to be burned. This system relies on being sealed, completely, and the gas cap is a vital part of that seal. If your gas cap isn't sealing properly, the EVAP system can't maintain the correct pressure. The car's brain, the ECU, gets confused. It expects a sealed system. It detects a leak. It might even throw a check engine light. Code P0442 or P0455. Small leak, large leak. Annoying and potentially costly to diagnose. An imperfect seal can subtly affect things. The ECU might try to compensate for this phantom leak. It could slightly alter the air-fuel mixture, trying to maintain the perfect burn. If the mixture is off, even a tiny bit, you lose power, you waste fuel, it all adds up. And those precious fuel vapors, they just evaporate into the atmosphere, wasted, gone forever. That's petrol you've paid for, vanishing. So a perfect seal isn't just about being green, it's about efficiency, performance, getting every last bang for your buck. Your step-by-step guide to gas cap glory, the Clarkson Method. Right, enough theory. Let's get our hands dirty. This is the Clarkson Method. First, the inspection. Open your fuel flap, unscrew the cap, examine that rubber O-ring or flat seal. Is it cracked, brittle, covered in gunk? If it's falling apart, buy a new one. If it just looks tired and dirty, proceed. Second, the cleanse. Get a clean lint-free microfiber cloth. Dampen it lightly with isopropyl alcohol. Gently wipe the rubber seal. Remove all the grime. Wipe the rim of the fuel filler neck. Make it spotless. Third, the anointment. Get some pure silicone dielectric grease. Put a tiny smear on your fingertip. Gently apply a thin film to the rubber seal. This helps create that perfect airtight seal. Finally, the sacred clicks and the nudge. Screw the cap back on. Listen for the clicks. After the last click, give it an extra tiny nudge. Just enough to ensure it's fully seated. Snug, you'll feel it, a sense of completion. That's it. The gas cap gambit. Done. Now enjoy the benefits. Section 5. Why your mechanic keeps mum, the conspiracy of silence, or just plain laziness. If this is so brilliant, why isn't it common knowledge? First, it's too simple. Mechanics like to fix things that are properly broken. Things they can charge you a decent whack for. Clean and lubricate gas cap seal 50 pence. Doesn't quite pay the garage mortgage, does it? Second, if your check engine light is on for an EVAP leak, it's easier and more profitable to sell you a new cap, rather than, your cap was a bit mucky, no charge, it's just business, not necessarily a conspiracy. More like an economic reality. They're not trying to swindle you, most of them. They're just following the path of least resistance, and most profit. Third, some mechanics might genuinely not think of it. They're trained to replace faulty parts. A dirty or unlubricated seal isn't technically faulty, it's just suboptimal. It falls into that gray area of preventative maintenance. It's basic car care, often overlooked. by owners, and sometimes by the professionals. Section 6. Real-world shenanigans. Does this voodoo actually work? Anecdotes from the trenches. Alright, Clarkson, I hear you cry. This sounds plausible, but where's the proof? Has anyone actually tried this? Direct, double-blind scientific studies are thin on the ground, for cleaning gas caps anyway, but anecdotal evidence, it's out there. Whispers on internet forums, tales from the pub, people who've seen their check engine light vanish after trying something similar to the Clarkson Method. Coincidence? Perhaps, or perhaps not. Think of old Dave down the street. His 10-year-old hatchback always smelled of petrol. Fuel economy was shocking. Then, one day his grandson cleaned the gas cap seal. Suddenly the petrol smell was gone, and Dave swore he was getting an extra 30 miles per tank. Placebo? Maybe. But Dave was happy, and his wallet was slightly heavier. Or consider Sarah with her sporty little coupe. It kept failing its emissions test. Someone suggested the cap trick. She tried it. Cost her virtually nothing. Next emissions test? Passed with flying colors. These are the stories you hear, if you listen carefully. Section 7. Beyond the cap. Other tiny tweaks for motoring nirvana. A quick detour. While we're on the subject of simple fixes, the gas cap isn't the only unsung hero. There are other tiny tweaks, easy wins, things that make a surprising difference to how your car feels and performs, and how much it costs to run. Most of them are blindingly obvious. Tire pressures. How many people drive around with squidgy tires? Wrong pressures ruin handling. Increase braking distances. Wear out your expensive tires prematurely. And hammer your fuel economy. Check them weekly, when they're cold. Use an accurate gauge. It's not hard. Then there's the air filter. Your engine needs to breathe. Clean air. If the air filter is clogged, the engine struggles. It uses more fuel. It produces less power. Replacing an air filter is often incredibly easy. A few clips, maybe a screw or two. It's a cheap part, a massive difference. Section 8. The cost of ignoring this? More than just loose change, mate. So you're thinking, it's just a gas cap. How much difference can it really make? My car seems to run fine, famous last words. Ignoring a dodgy gas cap seal isn't just about losing a few drops of vapor. The consequences can be more annoying, and expensive, than you might imagine. It's a slippery slope. A slope paved with wasted fuel, and garage bills, and that nagging feeling that something isn't quite right. Because, well, it isn't. The most obvious cost is wasted fuel. If vapors are escaping, that's petrol you've paid for, just vanishing into thin air, day after day. It might only be a small amount each time, but it adds up. Over weeks, months, years, it's like having a tiny hole in your wallet. Drip, drip, drip. Your money disappearing. And if the evap system isn't working right, the engine might not be running at peak efficiency. More fuel used, less power produced, a double whammy. Then there's the dreaded check engine light. A leaky gas cap is one of the most common causes, that little orange light, glowing accusingly from the dashboard. It means a trip to the garage. For most people. Section 9. Your turn, petrolheads. Go forth and conquer your fuel bills. So there you have it. The great gas cap secret. Not so secret anymore, is it? The Clarkson Method for a happier fuel tank. And potentially, a happier you. It's simple. It's cheap. It's logical. Will it transform your car overnight? Unlikely. Will it give you an extra 50 horsepower? Don't be daft. But will it help ensure your car is running as efficiently as it can? Yes, it absolutely can. And it might just save you a bit of cash. The beauty of this is its simplicity. You don't need to be a master mechanic. You don't need a workshop full of expensive tools. Just a few minutes of your time. A cloth, some alcohol, a dab of silicone grease. That's it. The barrier to entry is incredibly low. There's really no excuse not to try it. What have you got to lose? A bit of grime, and what have you got to gain? Better fuel economy, smoother running, peace of mind. So, this weekend, instead of just washing the outside, pay a little attention to the bits you normally ignore. Pop open that fuel flap, inspect that cap, give it the Clarkson treatment.